That thing that you do is what step 3 is all about. That thing that you do is you must think in favor of it happening, not in discord. You have to be a cooperative component with your own powerful, important thoughts. You can't think against your own desires and allow that gap to close. You have to lean in the direction of it. Your work is to believe what you want. Talk yourself into believing what you want. Cease the split energy. I want it, but I would really like to have that, but I've wanted it for such a long time and it's just not happening. Yeah, right. I would really like to have that, but I don't know anyone that has that easily. I want that, but oh, there's too much of a price that I would have to pay in order to get that. You often shoot your desires in the foot with your awareness of what is. And that's the part that we really want to get your attention about here and now. Because isn't this interesting? So you're standing in a place, living some life, and life shows you or brings you to an awareness that you are without something that you want to have. So knowing what you don't want or what you don't have helps you to know what you do want. So this desire becomes more and more and more until it comes into your conscious awareness. And so now you have a desire. You have a desire, and do you know what the only thing is that's keeping you from closing in on your desire, from having fun, watching things come into place and getting the fullness of it? Do you know the only thing that's keeping you from it? You're looking at what is, and what is opposite of what you want. And so the what is vibration has more of your airtime. You're talking more, thinking more about what is. And so you're not allowing yourself to talk and think about what's becoming. So you are pessimistic about what's becoming because you're talking about what is. And isn't that interesting? Don't you just find that interesting when you look at it that way, that the only thing that keeps you from moving to where you really want to be is talking about where you are incessantly. You're so interested in where you are. Let me explain to you where I am, you say to anyone who will pause and listen. Let me explain to you where I am. And oh, there's more. I need to tell you how I got here. And I'd like to tell you how long I've been here. And I'd also like to tell you how much I don't like being here. And hey, wait, I'm not the only one here. There are a lot of others here with me. None of us like being here. We all want something different than what we have. And we say, we know you do, but you can't get there that way. You got to let go of what is in order to allow what is becoming to become what is. So now, these words, what is, really tricky business because there are a lot of different perspectives about what is. And what we mean by that is, we're talking about what is already vibrationally actualized. We're talking about what you've been putting into your vibrational reality. We're talking about the desires that you've been launching, even those that you can't articulate. We're talking about the coming together of those ideas and the formation of beautiful desires that you have the ability to become aware of. Now, if you haven't been listening to us for a while, that's just fine. In fact, you're probably better off. Because it will be easier for you to hear what we're saying to you here today. Because we've been talking for years to many of you about how you can close that gap between what you believe and what you desire. But today, we would like you to recognize that that desire, when you think of it, do you know what a fresh desire feels like? One that just hatches? Is a desire that just hatches how good it feels before you face reality and kill it? And so what we want you to do is figure out how to enjoy the fresh breath of air that that new desire is giving to you. And resist the temptation to face reality just for a little while. Lean in the direction of optimism rather than leaning in the direction of pessimism. Let yourself think thoughts that feel better to you. And so, you were source energy before you came into this physical body. Do you know that? Some of you know that, but many of you don't know that. But many of you want to believe that you were, but we want you to know that you were. You were source energy before you came into this physical body. But not only were you source energy before you came into this physical body, the larger part of you still is source energy while you are here in this physical body. And there is a constant vibrational relationship between what you sometimes call your source or soul. We call it your inner being or your source or your soul. Doesn't matter what we call it. There's a non-physical part of you that is vibrational in nature that is really the dominant part of you. It's the part of you who has become the culmination of all of the desires that your life has carved out for you. Not just this life, but all that you have lived. You stand in this vibrational reality. We started to call it the vortex. We wanted to make it feel real to you. You stand in this vibrational reality as the culmination of all that you have lived. You have prosperity beyond our ability to describe. Clarity, wisdom. You are liquid love. You are pure positive energy. And life is meant to be good for you. But then you were born into this physical body, and here you stand in this body, sometimes having pinched yourself off. Say it better. Sometimes right now pinching yourself off, because everything is happening now. Sometimes you are pinching yourself off from the wholeness that is you. And you know how you know that you're doing that? You feel rotten while you're doing it. That's what pessimism is. That's what anger is. That's what defensiveness is, or frustration. That's what all those emotions that you describe as negative emotions are about. It's an indicator that there is a part of you that feels so good about whatever it is that you're focused upon. But when you feel negative emotion, it means you are focused in abject resistance or difference or opposition to the way the source within you feels and what the source within you knows about that. So now we've talked to you about vibration, and we know if we were sitting in your physical shoes, we might not be so eager to hear about vibration, because you really don't need to know so much about vibration. Vibration is something that you can't see. It's something that you can sense. You're translating vibration all the time. That's why you can smell. That's why you taste. You're translating vibration. It's why you see and hear. It's what your fingertips are all about. You are translating vibration. And your solar plexus translate vibration into your emotions. And your emotions let you know. They are for one purpose and one purpose only. They are to let you know whether in this moment when you are feeling this emotion, whether you are allowing yourself to be an extension of who you really are, so you're flowing with who you really are, or whether you've pinched yourself off from that and you are temporarily, sort of by your own choice, usually not meaning to do it, but by default, by your own choice, holding yourself out raw and ragged, not connected in the way that you could be to this replenishing, revitalizing, always being offered to you source energy. So, step 1, you ask. Step 2, source answer. Step 3, you find a way to be a vibrational match to what you're asking for. You talk about it in ways that help you believe it. And then step 4 is simply mastery of that. Step 4 is getting so good at caring about the way you feel that in the early subtle stages of negative emotion, you change the thought when it's possible. You don't wait until it's a big boulder rolling down a mountain and then be at the bottom and try to, wait, I want you to stop. It won't stop then. It will run you over. And then step 5. Step 5 is our favorite step. Step 5 is you no longer being mad at yourself when you're back in step 1. Because step 1 is the sifting and the sorting and the giving the birth to the beginning of all desires. It's such a perfect system. You knew it when you came. And many of you are understanding it now. Life is supposed to feel really good to you. You're supposed to be having a really good time. And when you think about it, you have the energy that creates worlds at your back, flowing to you and through you for the creation and accomplishment of anything that matters to you. If you don't feel loved, it's only because you've not practiced allowing yourself to feel loved. And it's usually because you learned it from somebody else who was pinched off from source in the moment and looking at you and not loving you, and making you feel the way you felt when someone who doesn't love you is looking at you. But cut it out. Don't look there anymore. So, now you know everything we know. All that matters, you've just heard. We're eager to talk with you about anything you want to talk about, and we will process a bit if you want to. We'll help you close that gap. We'll help you see what thoughts you might think that would put you more in the receptive mode, because that's really all we have to offer you. Just processes and techniques and knowledge that you deserve, we'll show you how to get in the receptive mode. We'll show you how to allow what you really want to come to you. It's so much easier than you think. Applying just a little bit of attention. Once you understand this basis of vibrational law, once you understand this universal vibrational law of attraction and your own emotional guidance system, you are on your way to allowing your vortex that has enough fruit for you to pick to keep you busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes. We are so eager for you to begin to experience in visceral terms the abundance of all nature that you have created for yourself and for the universe at large. We are all in this together, you know. So, what do you want to talk about? Good. Lots of good stuff here. A lot of trouble in this room too.